of course, the kind of the obvious thing happening if an RPA solution is not working is that you are missing on the value that it could potentially generate to you. So if a RPA solution is aimed to deliver you 1 FTE of hours back to business that you could utilize in something else, but the robot is constantly breaking five days a week, for example, then it's quite clear that it's not even bringing you the value prop of RPA itself, the hours back to business, freeing our everyone from the manual tasks and so on. And that's a very good, like using this hours back to business as a baseline of understanding that what did you get from RPA is very important, and it's a good metric and a kind of quite a universal metric as well. But then it's also very important to understand in the different processes, not just the kind of the potential savings that you've lost, but to understand that what is the actual business impact that you are facing if it wouldn't crash. If it would crash. And here, what I think is a good example is this kind of a situation on the a good example on the impact. This is kind of a situation where you would have automated your payroll process responsible for paying out salaries to your employees, and it's quite important that in Finland, for example, it's very typical that you have the one payday when everyone gets their salaries, and that's something that you agree on the work contracts and everything. And if that automated solution would break and your employees wouldn't get their salaries, then of course you end up in needing to do the whole process again manually. Maybe you have some compliance issues, you need to do additional reporting because of that issue and incident. But then you are facing, like, let's say if you've got 40,000 people on your payroll and you didn't pay them salary when it was time for that, you have quite a bunch of unsatisfied employees as well on your desk that you have to handle. So there's also the impact is quite wide. It can be even legislation related. It can be your people related and so on. So and that is the trickier part to understand in what is the total impact of the RPA solution in production. Of course, then if we take the healthcare sector, for example, we have customer organizations where the workflows have been automated to, for example, prepare and order tools for surgeons within 1 hour SLA, for example. And of course, in this case, it's quite imperative that the surgeon gets his or her tools to do the surgery in the hospital and so on. If that fails, it's obvious that the impact is in the worst case it can have to do with like people's lives. And yeah, these are very clear, and then we might have even processes that are kind of doing online stuff for your end customers. We've made in some of our organizations automations where their end customer, their B2C customer, is actually making a transact order in a place X and is waiting for that order to complete. And of course, if that kind of a process fails and the business to customer, in the business to customer business, that your end customer is waiting for, let's say, 2 hours for something happening that should have happened in 5 minutes, then well, that's again quite of a bad reputation for the organization where the RPA solution had failed. And because the actual impact of the RPA solutions failures could be quite big, so it's very important to focus on ensuring that they are up and running, both in the long run in having the best possible best practices, having really good delivery methodologies and so on, but also ensuring that your platform and your processes are well maintained and operated during production.